Hello, my name's Roger, and in this video I'm going to be making a dungeon crawler diorama. Now that's a mouthful. All good projects need to start with a bad sketch, and this is that sketch. For my dungeon hero I'm using the Spire Tyrants from Games Workshop. They've actually stopped producing these, so really I should probably put them away for 10 years and then sell them on eBay, making a nice little profit I'm sure. I don't throw anything away, unless it's incriminated evidence, of course. So for the base shape template, I'm using loads of card and foam that I've just got lying around. And as luck would have it, a few bits already fit for what I had in mind. So using the card template, we can cut this one out. The satisfying progress of a hot wire cutter. I tried shaving my legs with these once, and according to my plastic surgeon, it was 45% successful. Do these fit? You bet your ass they do. Let's mark it a door and get back to that hot wire gizmo. I know what you're thinking, a dungeon glory hole, but bear with me on this one. Using a steel ruler, I can spend the next 6 weeks cutting out some stone shapes and all this bloody foam. I'd like to say this was very therapeutic and put me in a state of zen, but it didn't. It does, however, look pretty good and is worth the effort. With a main wall done, it's now time for some Victorian dentistry. I need to rough up some of these straight edges. And then it's back to 6 weeks of stone shaping on the bridge. Being a bridge, I think it would have bigger slabs on top. Using the back end of a file, I'm doing a bit more gouging on the foam to rough it up. And then it's back to the stonework. And now we can join this couple in holy matrimony. It's now time to get out the rocks and make a start on the base. First, I'm just going to roughly mark out the position of the bridge and the wall on the base. I can then avoid getting stones and glue on these areas. I got all these stones from my local pet shop in the aquatic section. They were pretty reasonable, to be honest, and I only had to smash 8 fish tanks to get them all. Once all the big stones have been super glued down, we can then break out the PVA and slap it all over. And then cover it in dirt and stones from the garden. Nice. Cursed City skeletons, remember them? I need these guys submerged in water, so I'll snip him off at the ankles, if he's not been through enough already. And that's a base build done and ready for painting. For the second time this week, I'm going to tackle a scantily clad woman carrying a sword. You don't need to see the whole bloody paint process here, but you know the drill. Get the base coats in and, well, get painting. 2 or 3 good layers should do it. If you have some sexy spectacles like me, they can also be pretty handy for the tiny little eyes. Don't forget your blood, every weapon must be covered in blood. That is a rule. And she is done. Can't pull it off any longer. Let's paint the base and the bridge. Most of this will be underwater, so I can be a bit loose with the painting. This means wet blending. Using some of my old, cheaper paints, plenty of water, and a big brush, we can mix these all up on the actual base itself. I suppose it's not really wet blending, more like wet slapping the paint on in mixing it up. Using some contrast paints on the skeletons, we can do a bit more wet blending. Well, sort of wet blending, you know what I mean. As you know, a skull is not complete until it's had a tickle with a dry brush. This bloody foam, ideally I would have rattle canned the whole lot, but then it would have melted, so it's just a brush job instead. While it's still wet, I'll streak a bit of colour into it also. And when all that's done, I can steal my uncle's makeup brushes and give it a few passes with some greys and whites. There comes a time in every man's life when he's consumed by the desire to spit on his palms, hoist the flag and start cutting throats. It's time to break out the resin. With the bridge and wall glued in place, there's no going back now. Using some dubious clear liquid, we can then seal off the diorama and pray to God it doesn't leak. With all the jizz in plastic strips in place and an old chocolate box to catch anything it might leak, we can open that gone off resin, add a bit of green and give it a stir. And after 5 minutes, pour the whole bloody lot in and wait 24 hours for it to cure. Hopefully. Once dry, we can peel off the tape and plastic, continue to pray it doesn't leak, and trim up any rough areas. As my search history on Google says, it's black rimming time. Once all the black rimming has been done, we can then tidy up the base with a bit of wood and some black paint. This dungeon is missing one thing, a guard. And for that guard we're going back to the Cursed City box set. This guy fits the bill, so he'll do. Keeping all the layers of colour nice and thin, we can let the black undercoat do a lot of the work here. You know, for all the crap the Cursed City release got, these miniatures are actually pretty good. Final dry brush and that will do. And with the guard finish, we just need to stick him and the barbarian in place. Don't worry, a better shot is coming. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe and maybe even leave a comment. It's now time for the dramatic music.